California is collapsing. A $54 billion budget deficit. Will it really matter? Honestly, I don't know. But what we're seeing now with all of these lockdown orders and these governors ignoring the will of the people is it's an impending collapse. This is not the story I want to focus on. I just want to show you that California is facing this big budget deficit, but you've clicked the link, which means you've seen something that interests you. And that story is Elon Musk says Tesla headquarters will move to Texas or Nevada immediately and plans lawsuit after California county health official says factory can't reopen days after Governor Gavin Newsom gave the green light. California is destroying itself. They can't take care of their own people. I think they're desperate to maintain congressional power and electoral power. So they're opening up their borders. They're saying free healthcare and all this other nonsense. It's bringing in a ton of people. It's causing serious problems, homelessness, wealth disparities. Oh, San Francisco is like, it is the perfect example. Just add some floating cars and some neon, clothing, and you've got a perfect nightmare future dystopia cyberpunk world where the rich run these big companies and do whatever they want while poor people roam around the streets taking dumps on the sidewalk. And just across the bay, you've got a fringe faction of far leftists throwing bricks through windows and setting fires. Sounds like a really, really awful place. Now, not all of California is bad. California's a very big place. A lot of beautiful places, a lot of good farming. But now you can see just how bad it's getting. They've had these problems in their government for a long time. And now Elon Musk is going to move Tesla out of California. You know what, Elon? Maybe it shouldn't have been there in the first place, but I get it. Everybody wanted to be there. It made sense. Silicon Valley, all that good stuff. Well, California just did this to itself. So take all of its problems, its budget deficit, and now take away a very prominent and successful company. And we'll see what you get. Let's read the story. Elon Musk has announced that he plans to move the Tesla HQ to Texas and Nevada immediately after a California county health official said the plant could not reopen. The disgruntled CEO took a comment thread on Twitter to share that he was also planning to file a lawsuit against Alameda County. Frankly, this is the final straw. Tesla will now move its headquarters and future programs to Texas/Nevada immediately, he said in the Saturday tweet. If we even retain Fremont manufacturing activity at all, it will be dependent on how Tesla is treated in the future. Tesla is the last car maker left in California. Wow. Musk's fury was directed towards Alameda County Health Officer Erica Pan, who on Friday announced the Fremont company would not be able to reopen. Tesla is filing a lawsuit against Alameda County immediately, said in an earlier tweet. The unelected and ignorant interim health officer of Alameda is acting contrary to the governor, the president, our constitutional freedoms, and just plain common sense. On Friday, Pan said of Tesla, we've been working with them, but we have not given them the green light. We have not said it is appropriate to move forward. Earlier on Friday afternoon, CEO Elon Musk told employees that the multi-billion-dollar car manufacturer would restart production at its plant in Fremont, CNBC reports. It's a cool plant, by the way. Here we can see the picture here. We've been working with them. All right, so there's Erica Pan. Musk, 48, cited California Governor Gavin Newsom's announcement that manufacturers can reopen this week as a reason to move forward. In light of Governor Gavin Newsom's statement earlier today approving manufacturing in California, we will aim to restart production in Fremont tomorrow afternoon. Quote, I will be on the line personally helping wherever I can. However, if you feel uncomfortable coming to work at this time, please do not feel obligated to do so. I mean, that's a great statement from Elon Musk. He recently went on Rogan. He's, been in the news quite a bit. He's been very angry about the lockdowns. And here he is saying, you don't got to come if you don't want to. All right, what's the problem? But Newsom's orders don't override those of Alameda County, which has stay-at-home guidelines in place through May 31st. This may cause friction between local and state officials as they try to reopen California in phases. A separate email was sent to staffers from Valeria Capers Workman, Tesla's HR head in the U.S. on Thursday night with additional details. Workman, what a name. Workman said the Fremont plant would go ahead with restricted operations and bring back 30% of employees normally working a shift. Limited operations will resume at the Fremont factory starting at 30% our normal headcount per shift. It's unclear if Tesla will be able to properly manufacture vehicles with the reduced headcount. Employees who are asked to come back must watch a training video on the new safety protocols Tesla will implement amid the coronavirus pandemic. The reopening will likely bring back some staffers who were sent home to work or furloughed after the Fremont plant shuttered on March 23rd. All right, I'm going to stop you right here. I'm going to stop right here. These states are all asking for money. Bailouts, saying, we need money because of our deficits, but your deficits are caused by your decision to shut everything down. If there is a way to properly reopen, and it appears that Gavin Newsom said there is, but Alameda County is going to block Elon Musk, then don't be surprised if you run out of money because you're obstructing your own productivity. I feel bad for Gavin Newsom, sort of. We'll see if he can step in on this one, because it's Alameda County that's interfering now, and this could be bad for California as a whole. I mean, this is Tesla we're talking about. And here we can see that California is facing a major budget deficit. This state is awful. Now, it is true that typically, according to the data I've read, California tends to give more money than it receives. It's actually typically red states that receive more federal benefits than they give. But I'm sure that has a lot to do with things that are quite nuanced, notably like defense and policing and things like that. If California produces, I'm just going to give you a random number, $100 per day, and Arkansas produces $20 a day, but it costs $50 a day to maintain some kind of national defense budgeting, then yes, Arkansas is receiving more than it gives, and California is giving more than it receives. But California is facing a major shortfall. They say it's almost 37% of the current $147.8 billion general fund budget, and foretells widespread program cuts absent a federal bailout. K through 12 schools and community colleges stand to lose $18 billion alone and are clamoring for more money to adapt campuses to a new social distancing reality. The Department of Finance released its projections in a rare fiscal update a week before Governor Gavin Newsom is expected to roll out his May budget revision, his first post-coronavirus spending plan. The deficit projection extends to the remainder of this fiscal year and through the 2020-2021 period that starts July 1st. Newsom said Wednesday that he expects a prolonged economic downturn. The finance document suggests that income losses will be far deeper than during the Great Recession more than a decade ago. It's going to take longer than I think a lot of people think. We've never experienced anything like this in our lifetimes. He said, adding that national employment rate will soar to Depression-era numbers. Well, California, in my opinion, is bad for a lot of reasons. I don't want to overly exaggerate. It's got a lot of good stuff going for it. I just went there. It's not all bad. It's got great weather, by the way. And not every part of California is awful. But because of the way California is run, this is what you can expect. California is horribly mismanaged, in my opinion. Now, this isn't to say that other states are all better. California might not be the worst, but it is pretty bad. You've got San Francisco, Sacramento, LA with massive homelessness and drug problems. And now they're going to be cutting more programs. They certainly have no idea what they're doing. They started putting homeless people in hotels. But I will tell you what, apparently they've done a really, really great job of stopping homeless people from getting COVID. Why didn't you do this before? Whatever it is they're doing now that seems to be working, isn't there something they could have done to prevent these problems and clean up the streets in the past that they weren't doing? I think it's fair to say that California doesn't really care. It's run by a bunch of people who say whatever they need to say to get elected, and therein lies the big problem when it comes to voting. If someone comes to you and whispers sweet nothings into your ears, it probably is too good to be true. And if someone comes to you and offers you some decently good stuff but warns you that responsibility comes along the way, I know it sounds hard, but that's probably reality. Reality isn't candy canes and rainbows. You can't just vote to give money to fix problems. Money isn't a thing. You need labor. You need humans who are willing and able to do work. California seems to run on good intentions, though. They say, we have a homeless problem. I know, let's just put all the homeless people in the hotels. Let's just build buildings to put homeless in. In Los Angeles, even with a Democratic supermajority, they couldn't actually vote to build housing. You know why? Not in my backyard. Nobody wanted the homeless housing near where they lived. It was bad for everybody. So even though they pretend, they claim to fight the good fight, this is what you get. Now, I kind of think Elon Musk isn't going to move. I think it's for now, kind of a threat. Hey, I'm going to move. We're doing it. It's the final straw. Gavin Newsom or somebody's going to call Elon and be like, please don't move. What do you need from us? And they'll intervene because obviously Gavin Newsom wants the tax revenue. They're facing a major deficit and they think it's going to get bad. The last thing they need is to lose tons of jobs and corporate tax revenue. So I think they're going to come back with their tails between their legs. But hey, man, welcome to California. None of this should surprise anyone. It's how they roll, right? You end up with a state that is more interested in voting for people who just tell you good things than in actually doing the hard work you have to do. Why would that surprise anybody? Think about what California is. Now, I know there's a lot of farmers who do a lot of hard work. I've been there. I've been to Tulare County. But you look at the big cities that have all the voting power, and it's chilling on the beach. It's, I want to be rich and famous. It's influencers. It's fakers. It's fake it till you make it. It's Hollywood plastic nonsense. Then you go to Silicon Valley, and it's the tech bros sitting atop their ivory tower with homeless people crapping in the streets. How do you think that'll reflect on the rest of the state? I can't believe people still live there. I got to be honest. I know it's not all bad, but there's a reason I left. I briefly lived there. I realized how awful it was, and I said, the narrative, it's hype. Don't believe it. I remember seeing a sticker when I was in Los Angeles. It said, welcome to Los Angeles. When you leave, take someone with you. Yeah, because it's fake news. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. They tell you it's fame, it's amazing, it's fun, it's exciting. Nah, it's really spread out, it's dirty, and it's poorly mismanaged. It's a bunch of opportunists who only come, they parachute in because they think they're going to get something for it. It's the gold rush, kind of. They don't care about the community. Some people probably do, but it's people rushing in thinking they're going to get rich quick. You build a culture around that, and you get trash in the streets and human waste. But, I know it's not all bad. I'll leave it there. Stick around. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.